Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing okay. So today let's go over the September 2024 Zega managed ETFs. So I'm going to set up this tier list. Just a warning, I think in the future, since things have changed with YieldMax in terms of the distribution schedule, I think I'm going to change the format in the future somehow. I'm not sure just how yet. I guess I want to see how the I guess like the staggered schedule and the weekly schedule for YMAX and YMAG play out. So, as you can imagine, there's already quite a few Defiance YieldMax and even like the THTA managed Zega managed ETFs. So which ones are maybe worth their time and which ones are maybe not worth your time. So I try to break this up into a few different categories based on like your current preference. So like there's something for price rank, something for average yield, something for standard deviation, some for liquidity, some for correlation, and one for potential drawdown. So what you see here, in case you're new, this is for just based off of like the average, just like the yield. So your preference may be different, and then this may not apply. Like for example, some of you might look at like this and say, well, how the heck is OLTY like an A tier? And this is just based off average yield. So like I would be here all day if I had to like, kind of like rank each one based off of just like price stability. Maybe you don't like the total return, and so on and so forth. So everybody's gonna be a little bit different. So you can kind of pick and choose like which ones you would like. But this is how it looks so far. And SMCY and TSMY a little too new for this purpose. And then as I mentioned before, YMAX and YMAG are gonna switch to like a weekly format, like a weekly distribution schedule. So I'm not sure how that'll play out just yet. So I kind of left those off to the side for now. So let's go to the spreadsheet. 1 second while I switched over. All right, so as you can see, like it's starting to get really crowded on like just like the regular dashboard. Like when it first started, everything fit nice and neatly into like one page, but now I've kind of scrolled down a little bit. So I guess like not too much interesting to note in terms of like discounts. So I'm comparing like for example, like the net asset value versus like, the actual closing price of the ETF. So for example, ABNY, you actually people are paying actually like 6 cents over what it's actually worth, and for AIYY, same thing, 2 cents over what it's actually worth, so on and so forth. So I think what could be interesting for some people, let me scroll down a little bit more so people can see on the left hand side as all the YieldMax ETFs. So I believe I have almost everything in frame. So for example, YMAX might be a it's a bit of a have a small discount here as of September 20th, close of business. And then like also maybe for some people, Disney might be worth speculation on. And then also Nvidia surprisingly is trading at like a 10 cent discount again as of Friday's close. So let me scroll up a little bit more. And then over here in the middle, you'll see like the Defiance ETFs. Again, not much of a discount to note. And then you kind of see like over here the little graph guy. You can see like the triple QY is still like the king right now, and then you see like SPYT slowly but surely grabbing more market share. I guess people want more stability in their income, so I think SPYT might be good for some folks. And then let me scroll over a little bit more so you can see the YieldMax, kind of just like the comparison. As you can see, like NVIDIA is definitely like the top dog. Everything else is kind of like dropped off a little bit. But maybe TSLY might bounce back if like their October 10th announcement, it might get people excited. Same thing with CONY and MSTY. Those two, I guess, like anything that's like Bitcoin or crypto related, there's a chance like there could be some recovery, but we'll just have to see. And then YMAX and ULTY also, they have a decent amount of volume, so over a quarter of a billion, so it's not too bad. Unfortunately, ULTY this has been suffering from like just like different forms of erosion, but like I don't want to talk too much about that. Like I think made it clear in some other videos and some upcoming ones. AMZY's holding up pretty well. YMAG's holding up, and not as well as this big brother YMAX, but anyway. So let's get into like the meat of the matter. So like all the distributions so far. Again, in case you're new, just try to grab like the average yield paid out so far over here in this column. So again, it's pretty wide. So I'm gonna scroll over. I'm gonna wait for people to kind of maybe jot down what they want to jot down. So for example, if you look at just like TSLY, like the average distribution so far is about 75 cents per share, and then below that is the standard deviation. It's like so it swings around like 19 cents per month, and the consistency ratio is just like a metric to help kind of gauge like just kind of rank all these guys. Some people might find that helpful. So I color coded the highest ones in green. So for example, CONY has like a $1.71 average payout, and then the standard deviation is like around 68 cents per month, like a swing. And of course, like all of this is going to change once they switch to like a weekly staggered format for different groups. So and then SOMO is like kind of like the like in the light red. So it's 29 cents average distribution per share per month, and then 7 cents swing per month. And then if you see over, if I scroll over, so let's make the cutoff like around like PP. So this way I can scroll over so people can see like the square and other ETFs. So as you can see, MSTY has a pretty high payout so far at 2,063 cents per share, and you see like it swings like 85 cents per month. But of course, like this one has like a shorter track record. It has only 6 months, so you see this start off with a bang, like $4, but then like kind of like dipped down ever since then. But again, it might pop up like during the end of the year. So you see like fiat, but of course like fiat's also like a relatively new one, so it's a $1.88 per month, and see like 1 cent standard deviation. But of course this will change over time as fiat gets more and more distributions. And then let's see if I can scroll over a little bit more. So let's make it from, so I've already made space for TSLY and MSTY. So that's why I think like we're gonna have to change the format somehow, because like this is starting to get pretty ugly. So let's see. So and then also like kind of highlighted in yellow the JPY, QQQY, IMDB, MY. Like those are distributions that are made before the reverse stock split, like the 1-for-3. And then let's see anything other to note. Like well, Trust was delisted a while back, so I just kept that in there for informational purposes. And then the THTY, even though it has like a pretty low average distribution payout, it has been fairly consistent so far. So that again, that might be interesting for some folks. So let me. So hopefully everybody has jotted down like what they wanted to jot down. So I'm just gonna swing over to like the next tab, which is like the price rank. So this kind of shows you like how far like the price currently is to like this 52-week high and the 52-week low. So for example, SMCY, there's probably like limitations in terms of like the Thinkorswim data, because like the 52-week high obviously should be $53.48, but they have it showing it's probably like the previous like high, so that's why like the rank is, I mean in theory the highest you can go is like 1, but they have it as 1.15 when you do the calculation. But again, this one is new, so I think that's causing like a skew in the data. But like so far, like BABO is trading near its 52-week high, so that's why it has a pretty high price rank. Same thing for SPYT. So I think like people that are more concerned about like any type of erosion, SPYT might be something that you're making a trade-off. So you have a I would still consider like a 20% consistent yield to be pretty good. So I think like more people might may want to consider that. And then as you see, like the price rank starts to drop off after like TSLY, THTA again, it's relatively consistent, but it's not like perfect. There, none of these ETFs will be perfect in that regard. So for example, like a popular one, let's scroll down a little bit, so you can see like NVD it's actually at 0.27. Sorry, 0.28, because right now it's trading at around 22,097 cents. So it's dropped off from like its 52-week high of 31.77, and it's trading closer to like the 52-week low, and even the 52-week low is still pretty I would say like pretty close to like its original trading price of $20. So like $20 versus 1962 is not too bad. So let me scroll down some more so people can see. So obviously like MSTY and any Bitcoin related products, like they had a pretty rough time recently. So that's why the price rank is like at 0.14, because it was trading as almost as high as like $46, but now it's back down to earth to like 22.80. And for some reason YBIT is, I think it's because like the futures roll, when they're rolling that particular product, it's not like a good, like ironically it's not a good store of value, as you can see. It was trading as high as 23.62, but now it's down at 13.57, excluding the effects of like the distributions. But let me scroll down some more. So unfortunately CONY also has had like a really rough time, because like the last quarter, like the earnings wasn't up to snuff, just because not enough people were trading like crypto. And then you kind of see like towards the bottom, like unfortunately MRNY probably has like the worst one so far, at like only a price rank of 0.2. So let me move on to the next thing. Any potential drawdown. So again, MRNY is it's suffering the most potential drawdown. Like, so for example, this measures how far you fell from like the 52-week high. So let's say like you bought like at $26, and then like your worst case scenarios, like you're down to like 839 at the 52-week low. So this measures the distance between this is like it's not a perfect measure because it shows you like what could happen. It's not gonna say like what is going to happen. But like let's say like you bought like the 52-week high, and then like you're suffering at the 52-week low. That kind of measures what you can maybe expect. So the ones near the top, that's like one measure of risk. So like if you had like MRNY, CONY, AIYY, MSTY, TSLY, OLTY, AMDY, like you could potentially suffer like 50% drawdowns or more. And then if you kind of like, if I scroll down a little bit more, some of these are a little bit more reasonable. So for example, like YMAG, like a 21.72% potential drawdown might seem harsh, but it's still within like reason, I would say. And then like kind of THTA a little bit more safer in that regard. So for example, like as I mentioned before, SPYT, this might be for people that they don't want to see their principal like fluctuate so much. So far like the potential draw is only about 12%, which I would consider pretty good for people that are maybe more risk averse. Maybe that's might be something for people to consider. And then this next one is like the volume. So I just wanted to show you like the last trading volume. So obviously NVIDIA, OT, and CONY are very popular products, like at over 1 million shares are traded. And then TSLY, it's not too bad. And then YMAX, also not too bad. MSTY, not too bad. And then after that, then it starts getting a little, might be a little bit tough to trader. Maybe a little bit too tough for traders because it's tough to get in and out. So if I scroll like kind of like near the bottom, some of these are it's kind of rough. So AIYY, for example, at one point was fairly popular. Now it's down to like 19,500. Surprisingly, triple QT is also kind of like down here. Uh, and then you see like the new ones, TSLY, MSTY. I guess they haven't really caught on yet. Maybe not enough people know about it. So ABNY and MABA related products are, again, relatively new. So I guess that could explain why the trading volume is kind of light. And then the next thing I want to show you is like the correlations to triple QY, because I think triple QY was at one point like a fairly popular product. And then at one point I also had held this as well, so I wanted to see like what the correlations of other YieldMax or Defiance ETFs would hold to a correlation. So for example, YQQQ, well, it's the inverse of triple Q, of the triple Qs, or like that's what it purports to be. So as you can see from the correlation, it has a negative correlation of almost 1. So that means it's working according to plan. So if you need like a partial hedge to triple Q products, YQQQ might be something for you to consider. And then not surprisingly, fiat is the opposite of coin. So you can also expect like a negative correlation. MNY, CRSH, although and dips are also like the inverse products, so you see like a negative correlation. So that's in a way good. And then ULTY is like kind of in the middle, where it's like has like neither like an inverse or like a direct correlation to triple Q, which is pretty interesting. So if you scroll down a little bit more, in terms of like correlation, you generally want if you want to diversify, you want the ones that are like near the top. And then if you want like something that maybe correlates to a triple QY, then the ones near the bottom might be something that might be for you. And then the other interesting note, as I mentioned in previous videos, like triple QY and triple QY should have a perfect correlation, but sometimes I think our swim data is a little wonky. So it's like 0.98. So at least it's close to 100. So I think that'll do it for now. So let me switch back to the PowerPoint. So again, this is just my opinion. I try to put in like enough data for different audiences. So some people might want just like the average yield information. Some people might want total return and correlation and so on and so forth. So you can pick and choose like what you want for your goals and preferences. And just again, as another reminder, YieldMax changed the distribution schedule to weekly for YMAX and YMAG, and it's staggered by groups for everything else. So thank you for watching. I hope you found the information useful. Please like and subscribe. I hope people make some good money out there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.